Hi everybody, today's challenge is a watercolour challenge using your watercoloured pencils. This is what we're aiming to achieve. It's a greeting card. You could put any greeting on it you want. We're going to use your pencils that you have in your kit. If you've got it at home, you could use ordinary watercolour paints if you have them, but I wanted to show you how to use your watercolour pencils. So the first thing we need to do is make the circles, and I've already cut my card to the size I want. And it's I'm going to do this one, I think I'm going to do this one in just pinks. So I'm going to take my pink pencils from my set. I might put a grey in it, because I quite liked the grey in this one, although I did it in blues and greens. And the way I do it is, you can use it, you just need a plate really. I happen to have this, but you can just use a plate. To get the, I'm going to start with a pale one, really pale one. If you just rub the nib with water, it's just water and a paintbrush, you will gradually get the colour onto your tray or your plate or whatever you're doing. So here we go, see? So now I'm just going to make a circle. I don't know why I've done circles, but that's how I've seen it done on the internet. So I might do a couple of these. Now if you have it really wet, they will bleed together. Now that's absolutely fine. I'll show you one I've done where it bled together and it looks quite effective. So more water, more paint. So there's a couple. Now let's ramp it up a bit with a bit different colour. So I'm using a darker pink now. I hope you can see this all right on there. I'll check in a minute. So now you can see it bleeding. And that's absolutely fine. So there's no rhyme or reason to it, just put your circles wherever it takes your fancy. Right, let's have a really dark one now and see what we can get with this. So you can see how easy it is to get the colour off of your water pencils. Let's put a dark one in the middle. You can see how that's bleeding into the pale pink one, that's fine. You don't have to join them up if you don't want to. I put some grey in there, I think. When you've finished all your painting, the slow bit then is waiting for it to dry. I've already prepared one that is dry. Oh, this one looks very different. Much softer look than the greens and blues we did earlier. Very different. If you want it darker, don't put quite so much water. Just take it straight from the pencil. There we go. Okay. I don't think I've used this one yet. So all it is doing is sort of melting a bit of the colour off the pencil each time. Let's do a small one here. And because the paper is so wet, it's starting to bow. So you can see it's starting to pool down here with the water, because I've used quite a lot of water, but I quite like that effect. I didn't do that on the first one, and I actually think that's quite nice. There we go. I might stop there, or maybe I'll just put one of this very dark one in, just maybe one. You don't have to do it all in tonal colours either. I mean, you could just do it in random colours. I think that would look quite stunning. Let's just put one in there really dark. A bit like a, there we go. Now I just want that one to dry, so I'm going to move that to one side. And here's one that I did earlier, and I did this in yellows and oranges. So this watercolour task helps you get used to using your watercolour pencils, but we're also going to incorporate the Zentangle that you've already learned. So with a black marker, that's how I made all the marks on here. And if you look up on the internet at either doodle patterns or seamless patterns, you'll get lots and lots of ideas on there. I found some that they'd made them into birds, or they could be octopuses if you just put a design on them and give them squiggles for their tentacles. There's other ways you can also apply the paint. You don't have to use brushes, you could use a sponge. You could use your fingers if you want. It'll just all give you different effects. These could be flowers even, so it's entirely up to you what you want to do. One of them I saw, and it was quite random, and I'm not a random person, but I'll have a go, is they just went round and round. And it doesn't matter that the pen doesn't stick, it's fine. There we go. See? But when it's all mounted up with colour coordinating card, it actually can look quite stunning. So this one, I'm just going to make it like a dandelion head, if I can. So it sort of incorporates your Zentangle patterns. I'm sure you'll come up with some really lovely ideas. You just need to make sure this is dry before you start putting ink on it. Otherwise the ink runs. And this one might be quite nice mounted up on bright orange or... Okay. Another pattern I did over here was just like a little flower. So we just did like that, and then enlarge on it, going round a bit more till you cover the whole thing. I'm going to stop there because that's the more prominent colour. So we'll take this round. That one done. See how it's building up? You can do just crosses. Like this. You could also do these on a canvas. You can buy fairly cheap canvases in Hobbycraft. I'm not sure if they're still doing online orders, but it would be nice as a bit of wall art if you made it bigger. But I just made sure I'd cut this the right size so that I can then mount this one. I mounted on very dark blue and then on cream to make a card for somebody, and I should just put a sentiment on here. So that's the idea. I hope you find it a good way to use your pencils. So you don't need much, you just need your pencils, water and a pen really, and some card. Okay, good luck with that. I'm really interested to see how far you take it or what you do with it, because the Zentangle just blew me away how you did that. It was amazing. So I'll just leave you to look at these two just for a moment. And then I'm going to leave you to your own imagination. Good luck, everybody.